Hello everyone, I'm just moving to another room where we'll be a bit quieter. I hope you're doing well. As you can see, I'm not in my beautiful room today. I'm actually in the office, which is nice. Sometimes it's nice to get out of your own environment when you're working. I'm sure you experience that too. So thank you for joining me tonight. It's really good to have you on board. We're up to week 2 of Moxxi plus Arbonne, the ultimate success formula. And today we're going to talk about time management, everyone's favorite activity, I'm sure. So a little bit of housekeeping, again, like last week, we will have Q&A available. So up here, there'll be a blue button that says Q&A. Make sure you click on that and enter any questions that you might have. It's really important that you keep the questions coming so that I can answer them throughout this Hangout. If you have any questions after the Hangout, you're always more than welcome to pop them in the Facebook group. But while you've got me live, you might as well use me. So what I would like to ask you about is, what is your #1 problem with time management? What do you struggle with most? Write it in your Q&A section. Or if you don't know how to get to that, pop that in the Facebook comments and I can address that as we go through. I have my phone next to me, so if you do have a Facebook question, I will be able to access that. So once again, if you have a question, up in the corner up here will be a Q&A button. Feel free to pop it in there. If not, in the Facebook group, and I will get to it as soon as possible. So let's start with the content. If you have any questions, I'll be popping back in to check for them. So let's share our screen and go to our slide pack. So as with every week, I wanted to start to let you know that you're more incredible than you could possibly imagine. This might seem hard to think that it applies to you, and I understand that. We all go through troubles and we all go through frustrations, and especially when you're building a business, it's really easy to feel like you're just not good enough, that everyone else has a secret sauce that you don't know the recipe for, and everyone else is going to succeed and you're not. I get that feeling, and I'm here to tell you that that's just that little voice in your head, and if you back yourself and go for it, you'll actually find you get an amazing amount done. So that's what we want to talk about today, a little bit of time management. So I want to get you laser sharp on what time management is really. Now, we think we know what time management is, and a lot of us give lip service to time management, but what does it really mean to you? And then we want to look at strategic time management. So this is tying into last week's module around strategy, and what is your strategy, who are you targeting, what do you want to achieve? Then we're going to break it down into how you turn your grand plan into bite-sized chunks, so monthly and even weekly time management, and then right down to daily time management. We're going to talk about different strategies and techniques which you can employ that will get you better results that I employ in my business, and I've witnessed the power of them. So I'm going to share those with you today so that you can really use those to get some more results, bring in some more money, and start living that life that you know you deserve. Arbonne tells you all about the opportunities. You know what it's capable of. Sometimes it's hard to believe it if you're not getting the results. So what I want to do today is help you get those results a little bit easier with a little more clarity. So what is time management really? The Oxford Dictionary says the ability to use one's time effectively or productively, especially at work. Thank you, Oxford Dictionary. What does that even mean? Well, conversing with you guys over the last few weeks, I've had a lot of conversation around what you actually do on a daily basis to get the results that you want. And I've come up with a list of a few things that are effective and ineffective behaviours, and neither of them are definitely in one column or the other. It just depends how you employ them. So calling clients is an effective task. Getting out there, showing people what you've got available to help them and serve them is definitely an effective activity. But if you're doing it without strategy and without researching the person, or the industry you're targeting, you're actually just going to piss them off. So if you rang me as the business owner who's extremely passionate about what she does and said, oh, I've got this really great opportunity, it'll make you heaps of money and give you lots of time, it's called Arbonne, are you interested? I'd just say no. But if you rang me and you said, hi Lauren, I've researched Moxxi and I realised you're an empowerment business and you're all about women, and that's awesome. So I noticed that your key element is mindset education, and mastering of the mindset leads to success. And I think that's awesome. So would you mind if I talk to you about this company that is all about women and empowering them to live more and be more by not only mastering their mindset, by utilizing the tools of sale, growing businesses, and all the while having amazing makeups and skincare range? Do you think that would mean more to me? Do you think that I would jump at the chance to work with you? Like, hells to the yeah. I would definitely get on board with that. Because you cared what I want. You've had a little bit of a thought process about how you could offer something to me. And then I want to help you. You know, so if you come to me having researched what I want and what I need and you think that you could fill a gap, you're going to be so much more powerful. So effective calling clients is actually understanding a little bit about their needs. Now, you don't have to know it all. You'll never know it all. But coming with a little bit of empathy and understanding is going to get a lot further. I rambled a bit there, but non-effective activities is something like, you know, you can write yourself a list. I need to order business cards. I need to redo my flyer because it's not working. Obviously, my script is shit because I haven't got anyone sign on, so I'm going to rewrite that. Maybe I'm marketing to the wrong target market. Maybe I should just change that. Maybe I should now go for children. You know, no one does it better than you. No one knows you better than you. So be honest with yourself. Who do you want to help? What do you want to do? Is rewriting your flyer really going to make a difference? Would effective time management actually be to figure out who you are and what you want? Do you actually believe that Arbonne is the right vehicle for you to use? Do you believe you can actually run a business? Maybe you need to do that first. What I would recommend is to go outside. Now, this is the fourth one down on your effective list. Now, sitting behind a computer and randomly scattergun approaching your Facebook emails may feel like you're really busy, but you get inside your own head, and your head is sometimes a very dangerous place to be. So heading outside and meeting people and actually getting the vibe of what people want and the fact that you're helping them will give you so much more confidence and so much more energy. So don't be afraid to go outside. I want to talk to you finally, like you can see the rest of the list here. I'm not going to go through them all, but I wanted to talk to you about strategic joint venture relationships. Now that idea I had, that thing I spoke about earlier about coming to me and saying, are you interested in this? That's a strategic joint venture. So you're offering me something and I'm offering you something, the development of your staff, offering access to an elite coaching course, you know, that's something really cool that you can offer people who might want to come in underneath you, who don't just in it for money but personal development maybe. So if you are targeting young mums, is it possible to have a strategic joint venture relationship with a birthing class? You know, if you don't want to go to work after you've had your baby, maybe you would look at Arbonne, and this is the consultant you want to talk to. So once, this is when, last week we talked about strategy and understanding your target market. Once you understand this, you can create these strategic joint venture relationships and you can get so much more out of each lead. Can you think of the benefit you would get if you got a list of people who were pre-qualified to want and need your product? So don't be afraid to think outside of the square here. Really get a bit creative, and that's the best way to manage your time management. So once you understand what you want and what you're going to do and what tasks get you the results, you can start to really manage your time, and that's what we're going to go into next. So I would like to pop back into the chat and see if anyone has any questions, so just bear with me here. Just a little bit of waiting music for you there. Q&A. How cool is this technology? I love it. Okay, so there's no questions as you can see there, so I'm going to pop back to the slide and go to the second page. So strategic time management. Strategy. It's such a dirty word. I always found when someone said, do you have a strategy, it was so overwhelming. Like, that's what Big Four organizations and lawyers do. It's not what I did, and I had a small business and I just wanted to help some people. Like, seriously, do I need a strategy? And the answer is yes. And it's not that hard. Like, thinking that strategy has to be a big, scary thing will actually stop you from doing it. But ask yourself some simple questions. Where do you want to go? Like, do you want to make $1,000 a week? That's fine. Who do you want to help? Who are you targeting? Like, what do you want to offer them? Do you want to be #1 for service? Are you going to put extra time into each and every client? Do you want to be the #1 for growth? So do you have to focus on recruiting people? Like, what are you going to focus on? How much do you want to achieve? Do you want to run a massive business, or do you just want to run something nice and comfortable and easy that's going to prop up your earnings? Like, be honest with yourself. There is nothing right or wrong about going for the big game or staying in a nice, comfortable spot. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. But knowing what you want, who you're going to target, and how much you want to achieve will actually allow you to segment off your time. So if you know you have to make 10 sales a week or 10 parties a week, and that's part of your strategy, then you can book time out every single day to follow up on leads, or call new leads, or follow up on post-party activities and see if anyone has a referral for you. Now, there's an interesting strategy. Ask for referrals. Don't be afraid to. You're offering an amazing product that can change people's lives. Get on that and own that. It's awesome. And then lastly, I want you to consider how you work best. If you work best in a group, that's cool. You're normal. Most people work best in a group because there's a little bit of peer pressure and a lot of accountability. So if you work best in a group, then organize an accountability buddy. Hire a mentor. Do a program. Know what's good for you and go there. Don't be afraid to ask for help. In fact, be encouraged to ask for help because it's going to get you a long way. If you work best early in the morning, wake up early. Do your work for 3 or 4 hours, pat yourself on the back and go do something else. There is no point pushing yourself to work 8 to 10 hours a day when you're only effective for 2 or 3 of them. Isn't that the whole point of this business? Then you won't hate the business because you can, trust me, you can get really irritated with your business and frustrated and feel like you're just putting so much work into it and getting no result, which will demoralize you. So understand what you're good at, what you want to achieve, and how you work best, and work with that. If you work best in 20-minute increments 3 times a day, do that. Trial yourself. Follow yourself in a diary, understand what makes you tick, and enjoy the process. You run a business. This is exceptional. All right, break it down. I cannot stress to you enough the importance of breaking it down and knowing your numbers. So once you know what you want to achieve, how much you want to achieve, and who you want to serve, so your target market, you need to break it down. You need to know your numbers. So how many calls do you have to make? How many conversions do you make per call? Now, I get a lot of people go, oh, I made 3 phone calls, and they all said no. Well, I'm here to tell you that conversion rate, especially for cold calling, is less than 10%. So that means you have to talk to at least 10 people to get one to say yes. Now, that's a scary figure. And as you develop and you get more of a reputation, that goes severely up. So you convert every 4 or 3 people that you speak to. but especially when you're starting out, you have to pull hard yards. So if you know your numbers and you know how many sales you have to make and you know how many consultants you need to recruit, you then can extrapolate that to the average figures. So if you need to recruit 6 consultants, you're going to have to talk to 60 people. And if you do that, you're like, oh, a bit daunting, so I might need to change my goals. So the time frame's a bit longer, so I don't have to talk to 60 people this week. But can you see how that's going to take away the overwhelm? That's going to make you feel a lot more comfortable. And if you're recruiting 1 every 20, you probably need to change something. But not recruiting the first 4 or 5 people you talk to, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right job. Trust yourself. And then when you know what your numbers are, so how many parties you have to book, how many follow-ups you have to do, how many calls you have to make, you can schedule time. And then once you understand that, you can understand how much workload you're willing to put in to get the results you want. Once you've absolutely nailed that, you can do that for a 12-month time. So I want to make $100,000 this year, or I want to make $20,000 this year, or I want to make $5,000 this year. Whatever it means to you, you can break it down into monthly goals. Now, monthly goals have to completely align to your annual goal. So if your annual goal is to recruit 12 consultants, you need to recruit 1 consultant a month, right? Now, if you absolutely smash it out of the park and you recruit 6 consultants in the first month, then you can revisit your annual goals. There's nothing to say you can't do that. But understanding how your annual goals breaks down into your monthly is really important. And then once you break it down to your monthly, then you break it down to weekly, using exactly the same formula. So only taking into account your monthly goals. So if you have to recruit a consultant a month and it takes 10 phone calls to get a consultant, you need to make 3 phone calls a week. And that'll get you 12, so your averages are up. So if you make 3 contacts a week for potential consultants, then you're hitting your annual goal. Can you see that? Can you see how that's not so freaking stressful? It's actually something you can definitely do. And then you break it down into daily goals, which we're going to go into next. And you can see that you do 1 or 2 non-effective tasks and 3 effective tasks. And you actually will get a ton done. The key here is to ensure alignment. Ensure that your annual goals filter down into your monthly goals, which filter down into your weekly goals. You can't put learn to run a marathon in a monthly goal if it doesn't feature anywhere in your annual goals. Like, that's a big example, it's probably a silly one, but can you see how if you have an annual goal of recruiting 12 consultants, you can't put recruit 15 consultants in your monthly goal. It makes no sense. It doesn't align. So break it down so it does align. Just going to pop back into the Hangout now to see if anyone has any questions. And the answer is no. Groovy. So I must be making heaps of sense. That's exciting. So daily time management, the dirtiest of words, routine. Routine is king, my love, in your business. If you scattergun, if you wake up and feel overwhelmed, but at the same time wondering what you're going to do that day to grow your business, you're in a hell of a lot of trouble. So routine is absolutely king, and this comes from breaking down those goals into bite-sized, manageable daily pieces. Effective work time for you. So understanding what you need to do and how much you need to do will actually allow you to schedule that time in. So if you work best in the morning and you know you have to make 5 phone calls, then you wake up and you do whatever you need to do in your morning routine, and the first thing you do is you make 5 phone calls. And then you do that every single day, and you're guaranteed to make 25 phone calls a week. That's fantastic. Can you see how doing that as a routine, you actually discipline yourself to get those results? If you don't do it as a routine, it becomes a tedious chore that also gets overwhelming because it's a bit stressful if you're only making calls once a week. I've got some tips here around things that are so important to your success. Schedule social media time, and also email time for that matter. I don't know about you, but I can get sucked into a Facebook vortex. Facebook stalking, and then you see someone who's seeing someone new and you want to Facebook stalk them, and then there's a funny meme, and then that adds you to the best Vine series, and it 2 hours later. So I actually schedule 3 social media times in my diary every day: morning, lunchtime, and evening. Now, evening I do sit on social media so I can answer as many questions as I can in any of the forums that I run. But I know that I have 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the middle of the day where I can do social media. And that means I have to post. So I probably only have 3 minutes of stalking time because I'm using my time effectively. So if you're finding yourself getting stuck in a social media vortex, take it off your phone and also schedule it into your diary. Now I want to talk about a little bit of self-care in your routine, and this is really something that we have a tendency to miss because we think we're so busy, don't have time. But you need to have time to schedule in exercise. Studies have shown that you are so much more productive for the hour and a half after exercise, and generally more alert and positive during the day if you exercise. Now, being in a service industry like you are, and the fact you're trying to attract people into your business, you need to look after yourself. If you're giving off negative energy and you're so tired and you're so sick of your business, do you really think people are going to be encouraged to come and see you, encouraged to be part of your business? The answer is no. Like, think about the person who recruited you. Were they tired all the time? Did they look like they were run down and unable to achieve what they want on a daily basis? I hope not, because that would not instill much enthusiasm into me. And then the same goes for sleep. You need to sleep. And I know a lot of you have children, and that's a different game altogether. Like, you can't really give up on your kid and say, "Excuse me, darling, I need to sleep so mummy looks good in the morning." But don't go to bed at midnight. There's no television program that is so important that needs you to stay up to watch it. If you are a TV person, there's so many ways you can record your television programs now that I don't know about because I'm a bit technologically special and I don't watch TV, so it doesn't interest me. But there is no reason you need to stay up till 10:30, 11 watching TV. So go to bed at 10:30, and get a good night's rest, and then you will be able to exercise more too. And then ensuring alignment is the other key. So your daily goals have to feed into your weekly goals, which have to feed into your monthly goals, which have to feed into your annual goals. Don't freak out about that. It does sound like a lot of work, but it's really not that hard once you sit down and actually do it. So you can sit down as a group, you can ask a mentor, you can talk to your upline and see if they'll help you figure this stuff out. It makes it really, really clear, and then you're a lot happier going about your daily work. And then what I wanted to talk to you quickly about was your intention behind each action. So I always recommend you do 3 activities every day that's going to build your business. 3 of them. And then what is your intention behind each of those activities? So if you're going to call someone and offer them the amazing opportunity that Arbonne provides, and you're coming at it like, please, please, please say yes, I just need a consultant, and your intention is all wrong. So it will come through in the way that you do that activity, right? If you come at it and your intention is to offer them an amazing opportunity to do something that they will love, that will give them time to develop and grow, and also some extra cash if they'd like, you can see that your whole body, your whole tone and everything behind it changes to respect them and love them, and that's what you want them to feel. And then I've been doing this activity with a couple of the ladies, and one of them has added another part to it, and she puts her fear at the end. So she puts her 3 activities for the day, her 3 intentions for those activities, and then the fear she's conquering while doing it. And I think this is a really fabulous way of looking at it, and I'm definitely stealing it from her because it forces you to face that fear and build new evidence that you are good enough. If you face that fear, you actually overcome it, not immediately, but in time. And if you think that fear is false evidence appearing real, as an acrostic poem, it breaks that fear pretty quickly because it's false evidence appearing real. And once you find real evidence, then it's no longer a fear. So as always, I'd like to leave with a quote. We'll pop back into the screen in a minute, but how badly do you want it? If you spend too much time thinking about a thing, you'll never get it done. It's so easy to get paralysis by analysis. I understand. I do it all the time. And it took me a really long time with my business to actually take the time to settle and think about what I really wanted to do and actually get into the strategy. I'll go back to here so you don't have to look at Bruce Lee. But thinking about it doesn't get you results. Now, not to plan is failing to plan is planning to fail, and I understand that. So I would like you to do the annual, monthly, weekly, daily planning. And the whole 3 activities that are going to serve your business and grow your business, this is the difference between Beyonce and you and me. Now she has a lot of money and she has a whole team to do it, but Beyonce knows exactly how she likes to work. She also knows exactly what she wants to do and who she's serving. And then she works her butt off to do it. She doesn't think, she jumps and learns to fly on the way down. And this is something that we can definitely embrace. A lot of people have said to me that they actually did better in their business when they didn't really understand it and they were just going gung-ho and really excited about it. But now that they know that they could potentially do well or even worse, do poorly, they've actually lost that momentum and that ability to get excited about their business. So if you just get out of your own way, that's the best way to build your business. You are exceptional. I know you can do this. You have all the skills that you need to get this done. You have all the power inside you that you need to build this business. And some of you are going to be sitting there going, that doesn't apply to me. How does she know? I haven't made money for months, been struggling forever. And I hear you, and I would like you to consider that that's potentially a story you're telling yourself. The only difference between you and the woman who's earning $500,000 a month is her mindset. And her mindset determines her time management. So every single day, wake up knowing that you are good enough to build this business and you are strong enough and you have all the skills you need. Pick 3 things that align to your weekly, monthly, and yearly goals. Acknowledge your intention behind them and get excited to go do them. So if you do 3 things a day, I need to get my calculator out for this. 3% remaining, that's not ideal. So if you do 3 things a day, that's 15 things a week. And I'm going Monday through Friday here, times 52, 780 things. If you do 780 activities to grow your business over a year, do you think that you could grow your business? 780 things sounds like a lot. Breaking it down to 3 a day makes it totally doable. So consider who you're serving, consider how much you want out of it, consider what you're putting in, what you're willing to put into it. Break it down step by step and you will absolutely achieve your goals. Now it is 8 o'clock, so we've gone through our half hour, but if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A button up there and I'm happy to answer them for you. Also, if you have any further questions, please pop them in the Facebook forum. If you have a script you want us to look at, if you want to talk about JV opportunities, if you want to talk about the best way you work, if you want to find an accountability buddy and someone to help you to do what you want to do, then that forum's the best way to do it. Learn to reach out, learn to ask for help. If you ask, it shall be given. Like, there's a lot of girls in this forum that are using me for different accountability framework, and that's fantastic. I'm more than happy to do that. So thank you very much for your time this evening. I hope you've learned something groovy. I hope that you really employ this yearly, monthly, weekly, daily planning and get your routine under wraps so that you can make the impact and get the results that you're after. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and all I ask from you is whatever you do, be courageous.